welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about some thriller and horror novels that I think are perfect for the summer season. So these are all books that take place in summer, at the cabin, on the lake, on an ocean, or whatever, that just kind of give you the vibe. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I am the type of reader that I love reading things in their season. So if like a book is taking place over the Halloween season, then I love to read it in fall. You know, same thing here. Books are taking place at a cabin or at the lake or on the ocean. I want to read it in summer. So I know that I'm not the only one that feels that way. So I thought I would put together a list of 5 thrillers and or horror novels that you guys can enjoy this summer. So the first book that we are going to talk about is actually a twofer. So this is actually a duology so far, and it's by Mariette Lindstein, and this one is called Shadow of Fog Island, and it is the second. The first book was called The Cult on Fog Island. So the first book, which I don't have with me because I lent it to my sister-in-law, so that's why I'm showing you this one. But the first book basically follows, so is it Sophie or Sophia? I think it's Sophia. It follows Sophia, and she kind of ends up in a situation where she is going for this retreat, and she just needs to kind of like get away, get her mind together, and just kind of work on herself. So she ends up going to this retreat on this island called Fog Island, and once she's there for a while and she's kind of like made a commitment to stay there for a while, she starts to notice that things start to change, and she ends up realizing that she is in a cult. So we are following her journey as she's trying to escape this cult, and things become very dangerous. It is a really spooky thriller, and I absolutely loved it. Now this is the second book, which I have not read yet. I wanted to wait until summer to read it. It came out, I think, in the fall, and of course I like to read things in their season, so I wanted to wait until summer to read this one. So I'm definitely going to be following up that read with this one. But this one says, thanks to her, oh, you know what? I'm actually not going to read you the synopsis of this because this totally gives away the first book. So I'm not going to read you the synopsis of this. But let me just say, this one follows the first one. If the first one sounds good to you, obviously you're going to have to read that one first anyways. But I'm about to read this, and I realized that right in the first line, it totally gives away the whole book. So I'm not going to read you the synopsis of this one. But I'm looking forward to reading this one this summer. So we had a thriller, and now we're going to talk a little bit more about a horror, I guess we would call this one. It's called Possessed by Kate Can, and I absolutely love this one. This one is a YA thriller, and it follows the story of a girl named Rain, and basically she is trying to once again escape. She's kind of trying to escape her life. It says, Rain can't wait to get away from the stifling heat of summer in London, from her controlling older boyfriend Damien, from the tiny apartment she shares with her mother and little brother. So when she finds a job at a secluded country estate, Rain jumps at the chance to escape. But as soon as she arrives, her retreat feels like another prison. The ancient estate is suffocating, filled with spooky relics and a strange energy that seems to surround her everywhere she goes. Rain wants to believe it's all just her imagination, but as she spends more time in the country, she becomes more convinced that there's something out there, something that wants her to stay forever. So basically this estate that she is working at is haunted, and very spooky, creepy things start to happen, and I absolutely loved this one. This is one that I think of often, and honestly one that I probably will end up rereading. I don't reread a lot of books because I have so many on my TBR that I want to get through that I don't really want to waste time rereading books. But I often think of this one and want to reread it. So I definitely highly recommend this one as well. It takes place in like super, super hot weather. Like she's just like always sweating, like it's always hot where she is. So it just gives you those summer vibes. Next is something that's really, really fun, and this is an anthology called Campfire Ghost Stories. So this one is really fun. Some of the stories are better than others. But we have all sorts of different stories in here. There's ghost stories, there's thriller stories. If I read a couple of them from the synopsis, there's one that says, eternally attempting to return home, the spirit of a young girl wanders the lonely stretch of road where she died. A naive college student tiptoes through her dorm room to retrieve a sweater, unaware of what lurks within. A disrespectful cemetery visitor is blinded by a vengeful demonic statue. 6 inexplicable orbs of light warn a group of campers to leave the wilderness or face certain death. A mother discovers a horrifying secret about her daughter in a newly developed photograph. and a young girl who grows up with a ghostly double discovers the truth behind the extraordinary doppelganger. So these are just really fun stories, like it says, to tell around the campfire, and these ones are really, really good. Some of them, like I said, some of them are better than others, but overall, I really enjoyed this book, and I think you will too. Next is a book that I have talked about on my channel before, and that is Ruthless by Carolyn Lee Adams. And this one follows our protagonist. This one is also a YA psychological thriller. So it follows our protagonist who, from the very first page, like we just jump right into the thrilling sensation of this novel. From the first page, she wakes up and is realizing that she is being kidnapped. So basically she has been hit over the head or something, she's been incapacitated, and she is coming to in the back of a moving truck, and she realizes that she is currently being kidnapped. And it follows her trying to escape her attacker. She realizes that she is not the first person that this has happened to, and that the other girls that have been kidnapped have not made it home. So that kind of ups the stakes quite a bit. And we're following her. This all takes place in one night as she tries to escape her attacker. Her attacker has brought her to a cabin in the woods, and we are following that journey as she is trying to run through these woods, and he knows them a lot better than she does, we'll just say that. Next up is a book from Trish Doler called The Devil You Know, and this one follows a girl named Katie, and she has met at a party two cousins that she decides to start hanging out with, and she kind of goes on this trip with. Katie Wells has spent most of her life doing the right thing, going to school, working, and taking care of her family. But it's the summer after her high school graduation, and she's ready for something big to happen. So when she meets two handsome cousins at a campfire party, she finally has a chance for fun. There's the mysterious, seductive Noah, then there's the intelligent, good-natured Matt. When they invite her and a friend to join them on a road trip, it's just the escape Katie has been craving. But what starts out as a carefree journey quickly turns deadly when she discovers one of the boys is not who he claims to be at all. So we go on kind of a wild ride here. This is a summer road trip gone horribly wrong. All right, you guys, so those are 5 thriller/horror books that I think that you will absolutely love to read this summer season. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read them before or what your thoughts on them were. I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!